They thought she was a victim, a trembling girl running from the woods, blood on her hands, terror in her eyes. They said she was hunted, helpless, moments from death. He believed it too. The ruthless alpha patrolling under the blood moon, the night no wolf dared breathe. He saved her, pulled her from the jaws of the darkness, shielded her with his own body, risked his life for hers. He thought he rescued innocence. He thought he stopped a curse. But the moment her heartbeat touched his, the moment fate bound them in that shattered silence, the truth was sealed. He didn't save her. He awakened her. She wasn't prey. She wasn't hunted. She was the curse. And saving her was the first step toward his death. And under the blood moon's final glow, she would be the one to end him. Now the real story begins. If the only person who ever saved your life was destined to take it in the end, would you run from fate? Or stay and let love kill you? Tell me in the comments. And if Dark Blood Moon Alpha stories pull you in, hit subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. Now, let's continue. This is the story of a man who never feared death. A hunter king forged in war, ruled by instinct, and born beneath a moon that demanded blood. A story of a girl who shouldn't have survived the night. Fragile, wounded, nameless to the world, carrying a secret older than the kingdom itself. A story written long before either of them could breathe. A prophecy carved in crimson light, foretelling that the one he saved would be the one fated to end him. He believed rescuing her was mercy. He believed fate had finally softened. He believed the blood moon had spared him. But the blood moon never spares. It marks. It binds. It chooses. Because she wasn't just a girl. She was the first spark of a curse waiting to wake. A curse tied directly to his life, his throne, his final heartbeat. Her name would become the blade against his destiny, and his name would be the last word her fate was built upon. Now, let the story begin. The forest was wrong that night. Too quiet, too still, as if every living thing was holding its breath beneath the blood moon. Crimson light bled through the treetops, turning the world into a battlefield of the shadows and red fire. Wolves should have been howling. Predators should have been hunting. But instead, silence ruled, until a scream tore it open. A raw, terrified scream, thin, breathless, desperate, cutting straight through the trees like a blade. He heard it. The alpha didn't run from danger. He hunted it, owned it, ruled it. But this scream, this one dragged him forward before thought could catch up. He sprinted through the forest, boots pounding dirt, cloak snapping behind him, instinct flaring like a warning siren in his blood. Another scream. Closer. Higher. Breaking. He burst into a moonlit clearing and froze. A girl-gi was backed against an ancient stone shrine. Hands scraped. Dress torn. Breath shaking so hard, her ribs barely kept her upright. 3 feral wolves circled her. Wild, rabid, eyes glowing with blood moon frenzy. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't running. She just stood there, paralyzed by terror, fragile, breakable, mortal. "Move," he barked. She didn't, couldn't. The wolves lunged, and he was faster. Steel flashed. A snarl split the air. He slammed into the first wolf, blade slicing clean through fur and bone. The second snapped at his throat. He twisted, drove his elbow into its skull, dropped it, twitching to the ground. The third leapt, fangs bared, and he caught it mid-air, throwing it hard enough to crack its spine against stone. Silence crashed down again. The alpha turned, breathing sharp, adrenaline humming, eyes locking on the girl. She pressed herself tighter against the shrine, trembling violently, like she expected him to strike next. He lowered his blade, voice rough but controlled. "You're safe." She didn't seem to believe him. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Just a flicker of breath, a flicker of fear. He stepped closer. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. Tiny, terrified. She looked like she might collapse from just being seen. "What's your name?" he asked. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then, soft, barely audible, "Lyora." The name hit him harder than the fight. Something in it, in her, struck a chord he couldn't explain. But before he could ask anything else, the blood moon pulsed overhead. A deep, thunderous pulse. The air tightened. The ground shivered. His wolf recoiled. Not from danger. From her. Lyora gasped, hands flying to her chest, as a faint red mark shimmered across her skin, glowing beneath her collarbone like burning ink. The alpha stiffened. Marks were forbidden. Marks were cursed. Marks meant prophecy. He took a step back, instinct flaring. "What are you?" Her eyes lifted wide, terrified, shimmering under the blood moon. I don't know," she whispered. But the mark glowed brighter. And his wrist burned. He hissed, grabbing his arm as searing pain shot through him. A mark, a mirror to hers, etched itself across his skin in blazing red light. He taggered. Lyora stared, horrified. "I didn't touch you," she choked. "I didn't do anything." But fate already had, because the moment their marks locked, a whisper, cold, ancient, filled the clearing. "When he saves her, he seals his death." The alpha's breath froze in his chest. Lyora stumbled backward, eyes brimming with fear and something worse, recognition. "I shouldn't be alive," she whispered. "I wasn't meant to survive this moon." The wind howled. The mark burned, and the alpha finally understood. Saving her wasn't an act of mercy. It was the first step toward his own destruction. He should have left her in the clearing. That was the law, the instinct, the survival rule every alpha lived by. Never touch what bears a blood mark. But as Lyora swayed on her feet, pale and shaking, the alpha stepped forward, despite every warning screaming in his veins. "Can you walk?" She opened her mouth, but before she could answer, her knees buckled. He caught her, and the world responded. The blood moon pulsed, a deep, thunderous heartbeat, and both their marks fled in the same violent rhythm. Pain tore up his arm. She gasped, clutching her chest. The marks burned hotter, brighter, linked. He let go instantly. As if touching her was stepping into fire, she staggered back, breath trembling. "Something happens when you touch me." He gritted his teeth, jaw clenched. It's the bond. Her eyes widened. Bond? He didn't want to say it. Didn't want the truth to exist. When two marks mirror each other, his voice dropped, grim. It means one life triggers the other's fate. She went still. And which fate is that? He didn't answer. Because he didn't know. Didn't want to know. Didn't dare know. He turned sharply. You're coming with me. She hesitated, fear rippling through her. Why? Because if you stay here, Santa, he growled, you'll die. But there was another truth, quiet, unspoken. And if she left, he might die instead. He led her through the forest, torchlight cutting thin paths through darkness. Her footsteps were small, uneven, barely audible behind him. Every few seconds she winced, as if some unseen force clawed at her ribs. He glanced back. You're in pain, she nodded, voice trembling. Every time the moon pulses, but it feels like something is pulling on my soul. He froze. That wasn't fear. Wasn't exhaustion. That was activation. The first stage of a curse waking. He forced his voice steady. We'll get answers at the stronghold. But she stopped walking, eyes locked on the sky. The moon's changing. He followed her gaze. The blood moon, once solid crimson, now churned like liquid fire, swirling in dark red spirals. His wolf growled inside him, a primal alarm. That's impossible. Leora whispered, I think something else woke up tonight. Not just me. A scream ripped through the trees. Not human. Not wolf. Something mutated. Something wrong. Branches snapped. Earth shook. A creature lunged from the shadows. Twisted fur. Bone jutting through flesh. Eyes blazing blood red. A bloodspawn. Created only under one condition. A blood curse awakening. Leora stumbled back. It's coming for us. No, he growled, stepping between them. It's coming for you. The creature charged. He braced for impact. But before he could strike, Leora cried out. A sound of terror and pure instinct. Her mark flared, blinding red. The creature froze mid-lunge. As if slammed by invisible force, it dropped to its knees, whimpering, trembling, bowing to her. The alpha's blood went cold. Bloodspawn bowed only to one thing, their source. Leora backed away, horrified. No, I didn't do anything, I didn't. The creature snarled, snapping its jaws toward her. And this time she screamed, not in fear, in command. Stop! The forest shook. The bloodspawn collapsed, dead. Silence crashed in. She stared at her shaking hands, voice breaking. What am I? The alpha stepped back, instinct recoiling. Not prey, not victim. A trigger, a catalyst, a living curse. His voice dropped, low, shaken, disbelieving. You killed it without touching it. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't mean to. He swallowed hard. Blood curses don't need intention. They only need proximity. She shook her head. I don't want to hurt anyone. He stared at her. At the girl fate had wrapped in innocence and hid beneath fear. Wanting isn't part of prophecy. She flinched. Prophecy? Before he could answer, A whisper drifted through the trees. Not wind, words. Ancient, cold, final. When the cursed girl awakens, the alpha she meets first must die. Leora gasped. The alpha went still, and the blood moon pulsed again, searing both their marks, as if fate itself had just chosen him. The forest didn't breathe. Not the trees, not the wind, not the creatures hiding in the dark. Only two heartbeats pulsed in the silence, hers and his, thudding in the same doomed rhythm. Leora backed away, voice trembling. That voice, was it real? He didn't answer, because answering meant accepting the truth. She was the curse, and he was the target. His mark burned hotter, brighter, as if reacting to her fear. She clutched her wrist, gasping, "It hurts, it's getting worse." He stepped toward her instinctively. "Let me see." But the moment he reached for her, burn. Agony ripped through his arm, up his chest, into his lungs, dropping him to one knee. He choked on a breath. The mark wasn't just reacting, it was killing him. Leora froze, horrified. I didn't touch you." He forced the words out through clenched teeth. "You don't have to. The curse responds to closeness." She stared at him, shaking. "Then I'll go." Her voice cracked. "If staying near you will kill you, I'll leave." He surged to his feet. "No." She blinked, stunned. "No?" His jaw tightened, conflicted, furious at fate itself. "You step into that forest alone, you won't last an hour, Gio." "I'd rather die," she whispered, "than be the reason someone else does." He turned away, because looking at her made the pain worse. Looking at her made the truth louder. He didn't want her to go, even if staying meant death. Before either could speak again, a horn shattered the silence. Long, low, bone deep. Not a hunter's call, a summons. Torches ignited between the trees. Dozens, then hundreds, marching toward them in a tightening circle of fire. Leora's breath faltered. Who are they?" His suppression hardened. "Blood order." Her eyes widened. "You know them." "They hunt anything tied to prophecy." He paused. "Especially curses." Flames drew closer, revealing armored figures in crimson cloaks, masks carved with crescent sigils. One stepped forward, voice booming. "Alpha Cade Thorn, by decree of the Blood Order, surrender the marked girl." Leora stiffened behind him. "Why? What do they want?" Cade didn't look back. "They don't want you." A cold beat of silence. "They want your death." Leora's hand flew to her throat. No, I didn't choose this." The leader raised a blade burning with red light. "The curse awakens tonight. The alpha she meets first must fall. We are here to fulfill fate." Cade growled. "No one decides my fate." The blood order spread out, forming a death circle around them. Leora's panic spiked. "They'll kill you because of me." "Enough!" He stepped forward, eyes blazing with alpha fire. "No one touches her." The blood order's leader laughed. Cold, cruel. "You defend the girl destined to end you." Cade didn't blink. "I don't bow to destiny." Leora stared at him, stunned. breathless. No one had ever defended her. No one had ever stood between her and death. But the blood order didn't hesitate. Kill the alpha. Take the girl. Blades lifted. Wolves shifted. Ground thundered. Cade shoved Leora behind a fallen tree. Run when you get a chance. She grabbed his wrist, ignoring the pain searing through her own. No, if I leave, you'll die. His voice dropped, fierce and final. If you stay, I die faster. Her eyes filled with tears. What do you want me to do? For once, he said, breath shaking. Live. The blood order charged. Cade roared, shifting mid-strike, claws flashing, fangs bared. Steel met fur, magic met blood. Battle erupted. But as he fought, as he tore through enemies with savage precision, the mark on his wrist pulsed stronger. Every second near her drained his strength. Every heartbeat dragged him closer to collapse. He stumbled, just once, and they saw it. The curse is taking him. Keep him close, he'll fall. Leora's terror shattered into something else. Something sharp, powerful, rising like a storm. No. She stood, eyes glowing, mark blazing, fear melting into fury. No more running. She raised her trembling hands, and the ground answered. Cracks split through the earth, bloody red light erupting upward, throwing blood order warriors into the air. Cade spun, stunned. Leora! She gasped, as if something ancient had been waiting to surface. A voice, her voice, yet not, whispered through the clearing, "You cannot kill the one I am bound to." The blood order froze, horrified. Cade staggered back, chest heaving. "You're protecting me." Her eyes flickered, brown to crimson, human to cursed. "I don't want to," she whispered. "But the curse does." The ground shook again, harder this time, and far in the distance, a second blood moon rose. Dark, massive, bleeding shadow. Cade's voice dropped to a whisper of dread. "That's not a moon." Leora's breath hitched. "What is it?" He stared at the sky as the shape took form. "A gate." She paled. "A gate to what?" His answer came out broken. "To whatever created you." The sky split open, not with lightning, not with clouds, with blood-red light pouring from the second moon. A colossal pulsing sphere tearing into existence above the treetops. A portal, a summoning, a doorway for something that should never walk this world. Leora staggered backward, eyes wide. "It's calling me." Cade's breath hitched, raw, disbelieving. "No, it's claiming you." The blood order fell silent, fear replacing fury as the voice returned. Not thunder, not wind, a whisper that crawled under the skin. "The curse-bearer awakens. The alpha must fall." Cade clenched his fists, jaw locked. "I don't care what destiny says." But his legs shook. His heartbeat faltered. The mark on his wrist pulsed like a countdown. Leora's voice cracked. "The closer I am to you, the faster it kills you." His eyes found hers, burning with stubborn fire. "Then fate should be afraid of me." Before she could reply, the blood order surged again, desperate, frantic. Kill the Alpha before the gate fully opens. They charged. Cade turned to meet them, but his strength gave out. He collapsed to one knee, clawing at the ground, gasping as agony ripped through his chest. The mark blazed white hot, veins burning like molten metal. Leora screamed, "Cade!" He couldn't stand, could barely breathe. The curse wasn't waiting anymore. It was finishing him. A blood order blade swung toward his throat. Leora moved. Faster than fear, faster than thought. A streak of red-lit shadow slamming into the attacker, throwing him backward like a rag doll. Cade stared up at her, shocked, terrified, in awe. Her bark had changed. No longer a faint glow. Now a burning sigil carved across her skin. Alive, pulsing, commanding. The curse had fully awakened. She hovered above the ground, hair whipping in the fierce wind, eyes blazing with crimson fire. Her voice echoed, two tones layered together. Do not touch him. He is mine to end. Cade's blood turned to ice. Leora, fight it. Please. For a moment, just a sliver, her expression cracked, a flicker of the girl beneath the curse. I don't want to hurt you. Tears welled in her eyes, but the curse swallowed them. Her body jerked toward him, step by slow, torturous step, each one tightening the invisible noose around his heart. Cade forced himself upright, using a broken tree trunk to brace his shaking body. Leora, look at me. Her glowing eyes flickered. You're not a weapon. Another step. You're not a curse. Another step. You're the woman I saved. She gasped, humanity breaking through the static. And the woman I would save again, oh. Silence. Then, the curse screamed through her veins, ripping control away. She lifted her hand, power coiling into a spear of blood-red light aimed straight at his chest. The final blow, the destined kill. Cade didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't raise a claw. He stepped closer, hands open, voice barely a whisper. If my fate is death, he swallowed hard, then let me die seeing you, not the curse. Her hand trembled violently, fighting two realities at once. I can't stop it, she sobbed. I'm killing you. He took one more step, close enough to touch her, close enough to die, and whispered, then let me choose it. The spear of light launched, a death strike. Perfect, final. But at the last possible heartbeat, Leora stepped between the curse and Cade. Her body took the hit. The spear exploded through her. A shockwave of crimson light blasting outward, shattering trees, hurling warriors into the dirt, ripping the ground apart. Cade screamed her name. Leora! She collapsed into his arms, blood glowing like embers beneath her skin, her pulse flickering like a dying star. He held her tight, voice shattering. No, no, stay with me, please. Her fingers brushed his cheek, weak, shaking. You weren't meant to die, she whispered. I was. He shook his head violently. I won't accept that. I won't. Her breath trembled. Because loving you, a tear slid down her face, was the only part of the curse I wanted. The blood moon above them cracked, splintering like glass, as if her defiance had broken the prophecy itself. Red shards rained from the sky, fading into nothing before they touched the earth. The whispering voice howled. She has chosen the Alpha. The curse is broken. The mark vanished from Cade's wrist, burning away into ash. The pain stopped. His breath returned. He was free. But she... Her glow dimmed. Her pulse stilled. Her body went cold in his arms. Cade buried his face against her hair, voice raw, ragged, breaking apart. Don't leave me! Silence. The world held its breath, and then a faint heartbeat. One tiny thump, then another. Her eyes fluttered open. Not crimson, not cursed. Human, alive. Cade exhaled a shattered laugh, relief and disbelief colliding. You're here, she whispered, smiling weakly. I chose life. He pulled her close, forehead against hers, voice low and reverent. And I choose you. Above them, the blood moon dissolved, leaving only darkness. A clean sky, a new fate. One no prophecy had written. One they would write themselves. Because sometimes the only way to kill destiny is to love beyond it.